Where are you based?
Hey, I am in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, sounds good. Brooklyn, New York. How's the weather up there? Has it changed yet?
Weather is pretty crappy. Yeah, it's not that nice
No
out. It's a
way.
little gloomy, a little misty, but the last few days have been nice.
Amazing, amazing. So tell us a little bit. Who's Catapulx and what is your role?
Absolutely. So I'm our COO and co-founder, James Altschuler. Um, co-founded the business about 3 years ago, and Catapult X. We run programmatic nonlinear ads, so non-intrusive and non-interrupted advertising formats that are contextually relevant to the video content that a viewer might be watching. So a
Listen,
far
what drove you?
superior
What
advertising
drove you? What
experience.
drove you to start this company? What's your background?
So I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur. I've started 3 other companies over the course of my life. On the professional side of things, a salesperson, but have a real affinity for technology and building great tech products. So once I got into the work world, the entrepreneurial itch never went away. And once this opportunity presented itself, and we were working on something very, very different at that time,
What a
it
pivot!
became a relative no-brainer to jump back in. Yeah,
Amazing. I mean, always in the other companies were always in the broadcast and ad space, or was it something completely different?
something. So other companies I started was a web design company in high school, a startup in college, very similar to like the Domino's pizza tracker app, and
Okay.
then an influencer e-commerce platform post college. And then after that, it's really I got into I did get into the advertising space a little bit at Yelp, and then after that, got into the publishing space, selling to very large publishers, the Denver Post, that type of thing, which was really my kind of first foray into the media world specifically. So there is definitely a little bit of alignment with my past, but what we do today and the environment that we're in really has nothing to do with anything that I learned then.
Okay. Well, it's always something that you learn throughout the journey, no? So
Absolutely.
tell us a little bit. Can you explain OnStream? What is that?
Absolutely. So um, it is the first use of organic native advertising inside of a video environment. So in-stream and out-stream advertising have existed for quite some time now. That is typically just a video ad.
Yeah.
But on-stream advertising is a far more flexible, contextually relevant, and audience-first advertising experience. So think it is lower thirds, squeeze backs, overlays that don't intrude on a user's experience and thus lead to something that is far more effective for both the audience, the publisher, for their audience, and then finally for an advertiser to actually build great engagement with their advertising. The number one problem with a video ad today is that you click that skip ad button, right? I do it all the time,
We
as
hate
much as
them.
physically possible,
Yeah.
right? And if you're watching on say TV, right? Like your Hulu, you're going to look at your phone, you're going to get up, you're going to do a number of things that are not watching that ad. But if you
Yeah.
play that ad while the content is still playing, you quite literally cannot skip it.
No, no, we're
So,
big believers in that. Yeah, big believers in that. Amazing technology that you guys have developed. We're starting to deploy them in with some of our customers. Finally, I know it took us a little bit, James, but
yep,
finally,
yeah,
finally we're doing it. And I think it's going to be just a fantastic success. So on stream versus the traditional pre-roll, mid-roll. I don't even know if post roles still exist, but anyway, very exciting. Can you explain more about delivering non interruptive ads?
sure. So this is definitely a brand new technique where past media brands would have to pre-plan this type of execution. They would need to pre-sell that campaign 5 months in advance, specifically plan all of the spots that those ads were going to show up, and then have a human actually, right? An execution that can be found on, say, red zone as an example on for the NFL. We are now able to do that same process in about 0.3 of a second. So
Oh,
we
wow.
integrate with over 35 of the web's largest video players, are now scaling out into CTV and OTT as well, where it becomes a very, very easy to integrate solution versus having the typical way, which was to completely rip out your existing video solution and now
Exactly.
install something new
You're
that
on
has
top
some
of it.
type of new. Exactly. We integrate with your existing
Yeah.
solution. So
Listen,
it's
and your technology also works on connected TVs?
yes. So we are in the
Amazing. And
process of
which ones are the best for you?
so we began with Vizio, LG, and Samsung,
Hmm.
and are now looking to roll out across all of the gaming environments, as well as Apple and Amazon Fire Stick, and then Roku will be the last thing for us. A little bit of
And
XG
out
there.
of curiosity, why did you start with did you say Vicio as the first one?
Hmm.
Yeah, why'd you
Yeah.
start with them? Was it
So
customer driven? Usually, sometimes it usually is, right?
actually, so no, it was really more so driven by the how to get our technology into those environments,
Yeah, that's
right?
awesome.
We obviously have a very robust pre-existing system that works very, very well on web, and this system was fairly easily applied to those environments.
Nice. And what is that? What is the origin of Catapulx? First of all, and how'd you guys come up with the name as well? There's always a story behind the name, no?
Yeah, no, so really good question. My partner, yeah, were fans of medieval weaponry, and the original concept was ad tech and the media world is a giant walled garden. It's very difficult to break into, and the only way to get over the wall at a castle
Oh,
is
that's
to
funny.
use a catapult, right?
There you go.
So it was our way of kind of storming the existing ecosystem or infrastructure in this industry, and then we slowly added the X because of the programmatic nature of our business and to create a functioning or a functional differentiator from our competitors.
And founders, how many founders were there? Two or just you two or somebody else?
Yes, just us two.
Amazing, amazing. Listen, and why has Catapults been so successful in such a short period of time, in your opinion? Well, I think I know the answer, but who likes
Yeah, great
cats?
question. So
Yeah,
yeah, no, the real reason for that would be the world is the programmatic and advertising world is shifting very, very quickly, and it's being prompted by new privacy regulations, primarily in GDPR and CCPA, and the deep need to protect, for companies like Apple to protect their users as much as possible. It's a strong focus for Google as well. Not to mention the exodus from cable, right? And when you look at these two things in combination with each other, it says one thing: audiences are fed up with the way things were done in the past. They're tired of 20 plus minute ad loads on an hour long show. They're tired of being tracked. They're tired of all the do you accept cookie buttons, etc. So the frankly, what we believe to be a very obvious next solution would be to be non-intrusive advertising, right? That actually fits with what you're doing and what you're watching rather than interrupts it
okay.
or interjects in it. So, for example, if you are watching a piece of video content and a football game, and I show you an ad for the Grand Canyon, that's very bizarre. That's a really bizarre type of thing to see. But if I show you an ad for Dick's Sporting Goods, you won't mind. It makes a lot of sense being there. It's hyper related to what you're watching. So the stronger that contextual relationship is, and the less you bog, the more obvious this as a way to monetize video content becomes. And
Absolutely.
that's what we explain to our publishers, and they have all agreed with us on this, on that opinion, and that's to the adoption rate has been far, far faster. And then again, what we were just discussing, it fits in with your existing solutions.